Ever had one of those days where everything feels like it's barely holding together? Your money, your patience, your sanity, and then someone pushes you just a little too far? That was me. I was broke, exhausted, and just wanted one small comfort, a cheap frozen pizza after a 12-hour day. But when some inconsiderate stranger decided his chicken was more important than my dinner, I made sure he never forgot what burning someone else's meal really feels like. If you've ever been pushed past your limit by someone who thinks the world revolves around them, hit that like button and get comfy, because this revenge is equal parts justice, smoke, and sweet satisfaction. I was in my late 20s, trying to rebuild my life from scratch. After years in a dead-end job that drained me, I decided to go back to school, a complete career pivot. It sounded inspiring on paper, but in reality, it meant poverty. Every dollar was accounted for. I'd stopped going out. I'd stopped buying coffee. Even my luxuries were things like generic cereal and frozen pizza from the discount aisle. To save money, I moved into a shared student apartment. Technically, it was the basement of an old apartment building. The kind of place where the pipes clanged at night and the hallway light flickered like it was haunted. Each of us had a tiny, locked room, but we shared a grimy kitchen and a couple of bathrooms that looked like they'd given up hope years ago. Nobody really talked, we were ghosts passing in the night. The only communication was the occasional text in the group chat. Hey guys, rent due tomorrow. Don't forget to e-transfer for Wi-Fi. It wasn't glamorous, but it was survival. One night, I came home after classes and a late shift at work, tired enough to feel the ache in my bones. It was 10 p.m. The hallway was quiet, just the hum of the old building and the faint smell of detergent. I opened my mini freezer, saw that glorious cardboard circle, my frozen pizza. My comfort. My treat. It sounds stupid, but that pizza represented something to me. A tiny moment of normalcy in a life that felt constantly on edge. I popped it in the oven at 375, set my phone timer for 25 minutes, and went back to my room to collapse on my bed. The oven was old, so when you opened or closed it, it screamed, this long metallic scream. You couldn't miss it. About 10 minutes in, I heard that exact sound. The oven door. Then, click. Someone's door closing down the hallway. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe someone was just checking something. When my timer went off, I wandered back out, half asleep, ready for that first cheesy bite. But when I opened the oven, my heart sank. There was another tray inside. A huge metal sheet loaded with raw chicken breasts, shoved right next to my pizza. And the temperature dial? Cranked up to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. I just froze there, staring at it. My pizza, my one decent meal that week, was curling up on the edges, bubbling, the cheese turning from golden to brown to black. I felt this slow, burning anger crawl up my spine. You know that feeling when someone doesn't just inconvenience you, they disrespect you? Like your existence, your time, your hunger, doesn't even register to them. I wanted to believe it was a mistake. But no, whoever did it, they'd heard me cooking. They'd seen my food in the oven. And they still decided their chicken was more important. I pulled out the pizza. It was ruined, charred around the edges, the middle soggy with burnt cheese. And there I was, standing in that cold basement kitchen, holding what used to be my dinner, feeling like the punchline to a cruel joke. I ate it anyway. Because I didn't have a choice. Each bite tasted like ash and resentment. And then, something in me just snapped. This wasn't just about pizza. It was about working 14-hour days, about scraping by, about people walking over me because I was quiet, broke, and tired. I'd swallowed my pride for years. But that night, I wasn't swallowing anything else, not even burnt cheese. I walked back to the kitchen. The air smelled faintly of roasting chicken. I stood there for a second, staring at the oven like it was a confession booth. Then I reached for the dial. 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Cranked it all the way. No hesitation. And then I went back to my room, shut the door, and waited. It didn't take long. About 15 minutes later, the smoke alarm started screaming. I smiled. For the first time that night, I actually smiled. Then came the frantic footsteps, the cursing, the sound of someone opening windows and waving a towel in a panic. That was my cue. I stepped into the hallway, keeping my face blank, calm, maybe even a little eerie in the dim light. The smoke hung low in the air, curling like ghostly fingers. He was there, a guy I'd seen around a few times. Always acting like he owned the place. He was frantically scraping what used to be chicken off the baking tray, now just black lumps fused to metal. He turned and saw me standing there. I tilted my head slightly and asked, "Everything all good, bud?" The way his face froze, priceless. He stammered something, yeah, just, forgot to check the temp." His voice cracked on the last word. I nodded, slow and deliberate. Happens to the best of us. Then I walked back to my room, closed the door, and took another bite of my awful pizza. It still tasted terrible. But somehow, it also tasted like victory. For the next few days, the hallway smelled faintly of burnt chicken and shame. He avoided me completely, wouldn't make eye contact, wouldn't say a word in the kitchen. A week later, I noticed a for rent sign appear on the basement door. He was moving out. I guess he didn't like how hot things got down there. Not long after, I moved too. A better place, a better chapter. But every time I smell overcooked chicken now, I can't help but grin. Because that night, I didn't just burn someone's dinner. I burned away the version of myself that let people walk all over me. Soft background music fades in, tone of quiet satisfaction. That was the night I learned something important. Sometimes, justice doesn't come from shouting or fighting. Sometimes, it comes from letting karma cook at 500 degrees until it's black, crispy, and undeniable. And if that guy ever wonders why his chicken caught fire that night, he'll just have to live with the mystery. Revenge doesn't always have to be loud to be satisfying. Sometimes, it's quiet, smoky, and smells a lot like poetic justice. If this story made you smile, or crave a little justice of your own, hit that like button and tell us in the comments, what's your favorite petty revenge story? Don't forget to subscribe for more true tales of Silent Payback. Because sometimes, the oven door swings both ways.